Assalamu alaikum, good morning everybody, and welcome to my YouTube channel ENT Made Easy by Dr. Mishi Bhatti. I'm sorry for basically the gap. I could not make few videos for the last few weeks, but today we are going to resume our activity for our juniors because they have a clinical exam so near. Today examination component is again the air examination, and in air examination I'm going to teach that how you are going to do or going to check the vestibular functions. So once you are examining your patient, the vestibular function is supposed to check by the gate, number one. Number two, you have to do simple bedside examination by means of Romberg's test and Sharpen's Romberg's test and Unterberger test. So once you are going to examine your patient, of course you have to greet your patient, you have to take consent from your patient, and you have to explain your patient that how you are going to perform your test, and you have to make it sure to your patient that he is not going to get harmed by you during this test performance. And you have to also keep my eyes on your surrounding, like if you may find anything in your surrounding area that possibly could harm your patient, always try to remove that in your surrounding, because once you are going to examine the patient for the gait or for the vestibular system, your patient may have the positive findings and your patient may fall down and get hurt by you. So you have to take care of all these things once you are going to perform the vestibular functional test or the assessment test. अस्सलाम वालेकुम, मेरा नाम डॉक्टर महवी शगदाद भट्टी है। अच्छा, मैं आपका जो है वो थोड़ा सा मुआयना करूँगी, और कान के अंदर वाले हिस्से के लिए कुछ हमारे टेस्ट होते हैं चेक करने के लिए, जो हमारे जिस्म के अंदर जो है वो सिस्टम है जो हमारी बॉडी को बैलेंस मेंटेन करने में और इसके अलावा जो है तवाज़ुन मतलब बरकरार रखने में और चलने में मदद करता है। अच्छा, इसमें ऐसी कोई चीज़ यहाँ वैसे नहीं है जो आपको तकलीफ़ देगी, लेकिन मैं यहाँ पे मौजूद हूँ और मैं हाथ रखूँगी। आपने परेशान नहीं होना है, अगर इस तरह की कोई भी चीज़ होगी तो हम आपको पकड़ लेंगे, ठीक है? इसलिए आपने रिलैक्स रहना है। द वन थिंग यू नीड टू कंसीडर इज़ ऑलवेज परफॉर्म दीज टेस्ट व्हेन योर पेशेंट इज़ द barefoot. So I have already asked him to remove his shoes, but since we are here at the winters, so I have not asked him to remove his socks, but you need to remove basically you need to ask your patient to remove socks as well. अच्छा, इधर आ जाएं प्लीज़। अच्छा, आपने बिल्कुल ऐसे सीधे खड़ा होना है और अपने पैर मिलाने हैं, ठीक है? और सामने देखना है और आपने चलना है, ठीक है? आस्क योर पेशेंट टू स्टैंड स्टेडी एंड फीट्स टुगेदर एंड लुक एट द फ्रंट व्यू एंड वॉक इन द स्ट्रेट लाइन। अच्छा, ये जो लाइन है आपने इस पे बिल्कुल सीधे सामने देख के चलना है, ठीक है? चलिए प्लीज़। अच्छा, चलें, बस टर्न कर जाएँ, सीधे पैर जोड़ लें। नाउ आई एम गोइंग टू चेक द टेंडम गेट। फॉर टेंडम गेट यू हैव टू टीच योर पेशेंट दैट हाउ डज ही नीड टू वॉक। अच्छा, अब आपने क्या करना है, आपने करना ये है कि आप अपना पैर ऐसे आगे रखेंगे, ठीक है? जैसे मैं ऐसे खड़ी हुई हूँ, तो आपने ये एक पैर आगे रखना है, आप ऐसे रख के, ठीक है? ऐसे चलेंगे, फिर ऐसे चलेंगे, फिर ऐसे चलेंगे और ऐसे चलेंगे। करके दिखाइएगा प्लीज़। जी, सामने देखिए प्लीज़। थैंक यू। चले आ जाएं। So this is gait examination and the tandem gait examination. Now I'm going to perform the Romberg's test. For Romberg's test, your patient should is steady, straight, and feet together, and arms can be lay at side, or arms can be basically hold at the chest. आपने क्या करना है, ऐसे पैर मिला के बिल्कुल सीधे खड़ा होना है और आप अपने हाथ ऐसे रखेंगे प्लीज़, ठीक है? So once I'm going to perform the Romberg's examination, and if the patient has got the central cause, then the patient may fall down even in this posture, because patient cannot even maintain the posture during examination. अच्छा, अब आपने आंखें बंद करनी है। Now I have asked my patient to close eyes, because you know the basically balance of the body is maintained by the integration of the vestibular system, eyes, and the somatosensory system. So I have asked my patient to close eyes so that the visual impact is lost. Now the patient has got the vestibular system and the central system or the pathway to maintain the balance of the body. Never forget to keep arms around your patient and watch your patient patient for basically dizziness or disequilibrium, or even you have to look for the direction, like if your patient may sway to the left or the right. But once there would be the peripheral dysfunction, vestibular dysfunction, your patient may soar on the ipsilateral side. So this is the Romberg's test, and how you are going to perform it I have already explained it. Then call लीजिएगा please. Next test what you need to get, basically you need to perform in your exam, is the Sharpens Romberg. Sharpens Romberg is more like a Romberg's test, because it is the modification of the Romberg's test. And in this test you have to ask your patient to stay or maintain the tandem gait position, and then keep arms over the chest and eyes open and eyes closed. And basically pathophysiology, or you can say the mechanism remains same, but it is the only, you can say, the most modified form of the Romberg's test. So it may precisely tell you once your patient is recovering from the disease. One more thing I would like to tell you, that once we are checking the basically Romberg's test, or we are performing the Romberg's test, you are checking the dorsal column pathway. As we know, that is the ascending pathway, and we are going to check the dorsal column pathway in the Romberg's test. You need to understand the phenomena और द बेसिक मैकेनिज्म इन्वॉल्विंग इन दी रॉम्बर्ग्स और द शार्पन्स रॉम्बर्ग्स. अच्छा, अब आपने क्या करना है, आपने अपना पैर ऐसे रखना है, ठीक है, फिर हाथ ऐसे रखेंगे, थोड़ी देर के लिए आप खड़े रहेंगे, इसी पोस्चर को मेंटेन करेंगे, एक बार आंखें खोली रखेंगे, एक बार बंद करेंगे, कीजिए. यस, आराम से, बिल्कुल आंखें खोली रखिए प्लीज़. पहले थोड़ी देर आंखें खोलेंगे. चलिए अब आंखें बंद कर दें. Thank you. The next component is the Fukuda test or the Unterberger test. Unterberger test is same as like Romberg's, but you have to ask your patient to basically march on the step. मतलब you have to ask your patient to march on that particular step where he was initially standing, and you have to explain it to your patients. And ideally there should be the 30 to 50 steps patient should be performed during examination in order to basically conclude your result. अच्छा, आपने क्या करना है, आप ऐसे खड़े रहेंगे, ठीक है. आप या हाथ ऐसे रखेंगे या आप हाथ ऐसे रखें, जैसे भी आपको ठीक लगे. आपने ये ऐसे करना है, मार्च करना है, ठीक है, जैसे मार्च नहीं करते हैं आपने इस तरीके से करना है. तो करके दिखाइएगा मुझे. So you have to watch the postural balance of the patient. You have to watch the position of the patient. You have to check the steps of the patient, and you have to check the direction of the swing of the patient as well. So this is the Unterberger test, or you can also call it as a Fukuda test. And in this test, one thing you need to consider that usually basically we check vestibulospinal tract in case of the Fukuda test. Ideally these all three tests should be performed in long case, specifically I would like to say more in the ear long case, because these three tests basically help you to identify, or you can say the localize the cause of the imbalance or the dizziness or the gait problem of the patient. Thank you so much. Thank you.